Welcome to Bad Food Blog, and what I have here is a whole bunch of pears, and I got all of these and they're all really getting soft and just about to turn, so I think I'm going to turn them into a pear crumble. And this basically means taking the lovely things, peeling them, boiling them down with some sugar to make a nice compote for underneath the crumble, and then making a nice crumble base at the top. So I'm going to spend some time peeling them all, and not really peeled pears before. I guess I cut the top bit off, cut the bottom bit off, and just skin them. I guess I'm going to use the good old peeling thing that I have. I think this is the right thing to do. I can never find the peeling thing. It is unfortunate, but this thing gets bashed around so much. We seem to buy more and more kitchen equipment. I can never find the thing I need. Ah, here we go. Here's the thing I use. It looks a little like this. Maybe you've seen one of these. They're pretty cool, really. I quite like it, and I think it works quite well. So, right, I'm going to get on with peeling these. Let's do one quickly on camera to show you the sort of method that I use. Guess I really should cut that bit off because it's got a little bit of stalk in it. It's a good old-fashioned, just you know. As you can see, it's coming off quite well. No kitty, bad kitty. Okay, you can have a piece of that to mess around with. Go on. There we go, as you can see it. So I can core out that bit with the end of this. There we go. And because pears don't generally tend to have much of a core, as long as you get the woody bits off, that's ready to go in a pan, ready to get chopped up and boiled down. Right, I'll get on with the rest of those and show you when they're all done. Yeah, doesn't it look pretty? As you can see, I'm still plugging away at it. I mean, the pile is getting quite high here. And I'm just keep God, I can't imagine when people cat attack, go on, down. Yep, here. I'm going to have to edit that cat bit out. As you can see, peeling's going well. Put it down, chop it up, place it in the thing. 2 left, and leaving the rest for my wife and son to eat. It doesn't take too long to do each one. Preparation. Sometimes good food, because I don't think this is, well, bad for you food, but it's going to taste nice. That one's so small, I'm going to have to cut it in half. Oh, quite a hard core to that one. These are going to have to be cooked down for half an hour, maybe an hour, maybe a tiny bit more. No, kitty, go away. Cat's trying to jump up again. I don't know why. I gave her a piece of pear in her bowl and she doesn't like it, but she's extremely interested in seeing that the ones that I'm preparing might taste different for some reason. Best way to turn a cat off what you're doing is to, you know, if it's fruit or veg, just give it a bite. It's not going to eat it. Alright, here we go. Alright, time to get this lot in the pan. Look how many there are. That's quite a few, isn't it? So I'm going to put them all in this nice pot here. I already put a little bit of water in with them, but that's not going to be enough. So let's get that on the boil. And bunch of sugar. I'm going to say around 180 to 200 grams, roughly. Little bit of golden syrup. Remember, I'm making a compote here for, you know, what's going to be a really nice crumble, and it's going to need a bit more water. Although it's going to boil down, there's not quite, I don't know, a little bit more water, not much, not much. This is probably another 150, 180 milliliters. So it's probably 250 to 300 milliliters in there already. And there we go. That's going to boil down. I'm going to put the lid on it to keep the heat in. And I might go for the glass lid so I can see what's happening, and see what that's doing later. So, probably going to come back and look at that in a bit. Okay, we're on to the next phase. I've left it for an hour and a half to boil down gently, and they've got really soft, they've shrunk, and a lot of juice has come out and got, oops, sorry, I've got the lens all, oh dear. I steamed up the lens then. So now what I need to do is I need to boil this down to make a nice compote. The liquid is amazing. It's just like treacle. It tastes absolutely amazing. Really strong pear flavour. And another thing to do, a bit like potatoes, I'm just going to give them a quick good mashing. And a lot of water has come out of them. There's more than twice the amount of water that was in there originally. And mash this down and just boil it down. So I have the what I need for the crumble. I probably could have done this a quicker way, but I really do like to get it really sweet and really boiled down. And you know, I've seen people do crumble with just slices. Some people would use something like this, but I do like to cook it for at least 2.5 hours, maybe 3. What I'm going to do now is slightly higher heat. I'm going to get it to boil off for about half an hour, and it should now break down even further and release even more of that yummy pear flavour. It's not very often that I do a long cooking thing like this, as you probably know. That's perfect. All the big lumps have gone now. It's all broken up. And that will continue to dissolve down further. And it's going to be a really nice base for a crumble. And this isn't going to make too big a crumble. It's just going to be standard size one. It's probably going to have about, I think about 400 grams of flour, 200 grams of butter, and 300 grams of sugar in the crumble mixture. So we've been cooking for a while now, and this is what we have. It's taken about 2.5, nearly 3 hours to get to this. There's probably about another 20 minutes left. I've just kept it on a low heat. For the first couple of hours it had a lid on, and now it's boiled down to something which is just about perfect. I mean, maybe reducing it, boiling off some of the water for another 20 minutes. That's perfect. For the crumble, let's do this properly. And to that aim, going to go for it's about 50-50. Let's go for about 400 grams of flour. There we go, 405. A little tiny bit over, but not too worried about that. Mix that on the side there. This is the flour I'm using, by the way. Quite nice. Italian tipo 00 flour. Really nice. Works well for most things I've found. Right, and clover. This is the one I dropped on a previous video. Don't know if I ever uploaded that one, to be honest. Oops. Here we go. 76 grams. See the messy way I'm doing this. 133 grams. 215. A little bit over. Not the end of the world. Alright. Now if I just chop this up with the spoon, it gets half the job done. Now of course I'm going to need to put on my apron, roll up my sleeves and get in there properly. Now my apron was a Christmas present, and what my apron says on it is this. Experiment in progress, bad food blogger, do not eat this. Probably best all round, really. Right. If you don't wear an apron, you're just going to end up with a very, very messy time. Every single time I do something like this, I get my whole front of me covered in flour. Because this one's after you've got this cut up a bit, which I gotta say I used to use a knife for, but then the knife kind of passes through and doesn't separate the butter as well as the spoon. Because of the curve on the spoon, it's doing a lot of the work for you by separating the butter as it's going. Well, this isn't butter in this case. It's already starting to crumb up a little bit. Now, before we go too far, because we want this next part to go in, zero up the scales again. I want to put more sugar in, but I'm not particularly happy using that type of sugar. I want to use something a little bit more special. There we go. Demerara sugar, which is essentially white cane sugar with some of the molasses poured back on it. Which I believe, well, they make it very many ways. But this is quite a sugary thing, so we're going for a 200 of this as well. And a little bit over 203, but again, not the end of the world. That just really helps the process of making the crumble. And it's just going to help it all stick together. Now at this point, you might be thinking, we're getting there, but there's still one thing missing. And that one thing is going to be the porridge oats, which I think I'm going to only go for like 100 grams of, just sort of some Scotch porridge oats. Just sort of make it a slightly more interesting texture and flavour. So I've zeroed that out. It'll absorb a bit of the moisture if it comes in contact with the flour. I didn't have 100. We got 67 grams. It'll still get the job done. We'll just make for a slightly more interesting texture when the crumble comes in contact with the also makes this technically multi-grain. There you go. Yeah, it's starting to crumb up nicely now. Just still working in with a spoon. Haven't needed to get my fingers in there yet. You could do this whole process with the spoon. Oh, whoops! Oh god, I just covered the kitchen in flour. Yeah, as you can see, it's starting to bind nicely. It's looking good. And you can turn this into a cake dough if you want. You can make shortbread with it from this point as well. There's all sorts of places you can go with something like this at this point. I mean, if you would put milk in it, you've got kind of the basis for a very sort of rich cake as well. Some baking flour, baking soda and baking powder. There's all sorts of places you can go with this. But where I'm going with it is a massive great crumble, as you can see. And we're talking massive, we are talking absolutely huge. So you can see this is a lot of crumble. Right, try to get the hands in there and get it all properly mixed together. Because the spoon isn't getting the job done anymore. Running it through my hands, checking the consistency. If you grip it together, does it stick? If it doesn't stick like this and like feel like you could make snowballs with it sort of thing, you don't have enough butter in there. And the porridge oat's just adding a bit of extra texture to it. This is going to come out quite nice. There's enough sugar in there that it'll bind together and it'll caramelize as it's cooking. It'll absorb moisture and cook with the boiling stuff underneath it. It's going to go really well. Okay. I think it's crumbed up really nicely. It's smelling really good. Both the flour and the butter have come this is nice golden colour, which actually is going to make it a little harder to tell when it's cooked. There we go. That is going to go really well. Absolute perfection. Right. Let's go wash my hands. And then start laying it down. I think these are going to be our two dishes. I've done slightly too much for one and the giant dish is already dirty. As you can see, this will definitely fill a topping for both of those. And we have our base already. And this is looking fantastic. Have a look at that. Wow, isn't that just amazing? Absolutely cool. Right. So this bit's not particularly hard. That gets laid in there. That gets laid in there. Oh. You're going to have to even them out, which I haven't done a very good job of there. There we go. That's better. Now it shouldn't take too long, but I'm going to let them cool down a bit while I put the oven on to heat up. And they're still a little tart because I haven't put too much sugar in. I think that's a nice combination. It's like having rhubarb and custard. You want it just to, you don't want it completely sweet. Otherwise, why use this at all? 160 degrees in the fan oven. I can't remember the cooking time, but I will have to look that up. Now, it's the important part is to not really pour it, it's more to sort of powder it on, so as you don't push the underneath out the way. Obviously be a little more careful than I'm being. You're trying not to push down on it too much. You're just trying to make the crumble cover the top. You don't want to kind of push the sauce out the way or anything like that. Not trying to cover up any damp parts on the edges. And there's no pressure being applied there at all, really. There we are. Make it nice and even. That's how you keep the crumble at the crumble on the top and the thing on the bottom. If you start spooning it in instead of sprinkling it on, you sort of gumph, you get a thump, it'll go straight to the bottom. And that's not what you're going to want at all. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Let's get started on this one. Of course, I can see that it's not quite as even on this one, so I can just add a little bit more. You see, I'm just sprinkling it on and evening it out, not really applying any pressure at all. Let's do the same on this one. This one's got a little bit more liquid on the top. Not doing such a good job on this one of keeping the crumble on top. But that's where, there we go. And danger is that the density difference, the crumble is obviously less dense. But if you plop anything into water like that, it's going to sort of do that. And when it cooks, it might very well bubble up around the sides, but that's part of the taste. And there we are. Now I do this round the edge. I don't know what other people do. I do know people who swear by running a fork across the top of it, sort of giving it like a stripy thing. Don't really agree with that myself. I think it's unnecessary. But there we go. Crumble ready for the oven. And once the oven's heated up, I'll put it in the oven. And here they go into the oven, and sorry about the amount of noise that's going to be coming off. So 160 degrees centigrade, fan oven, 35 to 40 minutes. I will come back and look at them in 30 minutes. Okay, looks like it's ready. So at 10 minutes, bubbling away, and yeah, that's a bit more golden brown. I'm going to go with that being ready. Smells good. Oh, and the other one's browned off a bit as well. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly put one in a little bit of a bowl and then try some. Would normally have it with custard, but at the moment I just want to see what it tastes like. But I think it looks yummy. Oh yeah. It's got nice. Oh wow. Looks delicious. Wow, let's have a look at that. Can you see the way it's all biscuity? That's perfect. Let's give it a taste. It's still extremely hot, by the way. That's really yummy. Wow. The pear's really coming through there. And the crumble's really nice. Well. Thanks for watching. This has been Bad Food Blog, and this was Pear Crumble. Tastes wonderful. Please like and share the video.